It started like any other Tuesday. Alarm at 6:30, a quick shower, and the familiar ritual of brewing coffee. The morning sun was just starting to spill into my kitchen, painting everything in a soft, hopeful light. I was humming along to some forgotten pop song on the radio, feeling that rare, uncomplicated sense of peace. My to-do list for the day was long but manageable. Finish the quarterly report, pick up groceries, call my mum. Simple, predictable, safe. That's how I liked my life. My phone buzzed on the counter, a jarring interruption to the quiet morning. I glanced at it. Unknown number. My heart did a little flop. I never answer unknown numbers. It's a rule. A stupid rule, maybe, but one born from years of anxiety. My mind immediately jumps to the worst-case scenario. A scammer, a wrong number, or worse, bad news. It's easier to just let it go to voicemail. So, I did. I watched the screen go dark and took a sip of my coffee. The warmth, a small comfort. But the peace was gone, replaced by a low-grade hum of unease. I tried to shake it off, telling myself I was being ridiculous. But it's just a phone call. I sat down at my laptop, opened the report, and stared at the spreadsheet. The numbers blurred. My focus was shot. That little notification icon on my phone seemed to be pulsing, mocking me. Who was it? What did they want? The curiosity was a physical itch. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I picked up my phone, my thumb hovering over the voicemail icon. Just listen to it, I told myself. Rip the Band-Aid off. With a deep breath, I pressed play. The message started with a series of beeps and clicks, like it was coming from a bad connection. Then a voice I hadn't heard in 10 years. Hey, it's me, Leo. My breath caught in my throat. Leo, the name alone was a ghost, a memory I had carefully locked away. The last time I saw him, we were 18, standing under a streetlight, tears streaming down my face as he said goodbye. He was joining the army, chasing a dream of adventure I couldn't be a part of. He promised he'd write. He never did. His voice continued, strained and hesitant. I know it's been a long time, a really long time. I'm back in town, just for a little while. I was hoping that maybe we could talk. I'm staying at the old Miller Hotel on Main Street, room 207. I'll be here until Thursday. The message ended abruptly. I stood there, phone pressed to my ear, listening to the silence. The Miller Hotel, that run-down, slightly creepy place we used to dare each other to sneak into as kids. My mind was a whirlwind. 10 years of silence. And now this. A cryptic voicemail asking to meet. Why now? A tidal wave of old emotions crashed over me. The sting of abandonment, the ache of first love, the anger I had buried so deep I'd almost forgotten it was there. Part of me wanted to delete the message, block the number, and pretend this never happened. Go back to my safe, predictable Tuesday. But another part, a smaller, more reckless part, was already picturing Main Street, picturing the faded sign of the Miller Hotel. The quarterly report was forgotten. Groceries could wait. The only thing on my to-do list now was a single, terrifying question. Should I go? All my carefully constructed walls were crumbling. The fear I had been avoiding wasn't about unknown numbers on my phone. It was about the unknown parts of my own past. It was the fear of reopening a wound I thought had healed. This missed call wasn't just a call. It was a summons. A summons to confront the ghost of the boy who broke my heart. I spent the next hour pacing my apartment, a prosecutor and a defense attorney arguing in my head. Prosecutor, he left you without a word. He doesn't deserve your time. Defense, but you never got closure. Don't you want to know why? The debate raged on. I replayed the voicemail a dozen times, analyzing every pause, every crack in his voice. He sounded tired, worn down. The cocksure, adventurous boy I remembered was gone, replaced by a man who sounded lost. That's what did it. The vulnerability in his voice. It chipped away at my anger, leaving behind a raw, painful curiosity. What had happened to him in those 10 years? What had turned the bright-eyed dreamer into this hesitant stranger on my voicemail? I knew I couldn't just ignore it. If I did, the what if would haunt me far more than any memory of him. I would spend the rest of my life wondering. So I made a decision. I grabbed my keys, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I walked out of my apartment, leaving the half-finished coffee and the forgotten spreadsheet behind. As I drove towards Main Street, the familiar buildings blurred past my window. Everything looked the same, but I felt like a different person. I was no longer the girl who was afraid of the unknown. I was a woman on her way to get answers. Pulling up to the Miller Hotel was like driving into a memory. It looked even more weathered than I remembered, the paint peeling, the sign flickering weakly. I parked the car but didn't get out right away. I just sat there, my hands gripping the steering wheel, my knuckles white. This was it, the point of no return. One missed call had led me here, to the doorstep of my biggest fear. I took a deep breath, the kind you take before you plunge into cold water. Then I opened the car door and walked towards the entrance. The lobby was dim and smelled of dust and old wood. A tired-looking man at the front desk barely glanced up as I walked past towards the creaky staircase. Each step up to the second floor echoed in the silence. My heart was in my throat. I found room 207. The door was old, the paint chipped. For a moment, I just stood there, my hand hovering inches from the wood. What would I say? What would he say? Was I ready for this? The fear was still there, a cold knot in my stomach. But something else was there too, a flicker of courage. I had come this far. I couldn't turn back now. I raised my hand and knocked. The sound was loud in the quiet hallway. I waited, holding my breath. I heard shuffling from inside, and then the click of the lock. The door creaked open, and there he was, Leo, older, with lines around his eyes I didn't recognize, and a scar above his eyebrow. but it was him. And in his eyes, I saw the same fear and hope that I felt in my own heart. The conversation was about to begin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you next time.